contestant number 3, Jeremy Udell. Click, ignore. Click, ignore. Jeremy Udell.
Oh, excuse me. I apologize. Oh, it's Dad. I can't talk to Dad right now. Dad, you're just going to want to talk my ear off about football anyway. Can't do it. I can't talk with him right now. Click ignore. Mr. Contest Master, fellow Toastmasters and guests, does this remind you of anything in your life? Have you ever clicked to ignore anyone? In my life, it happens more than I'd like to admit. Not just when I'm in the middle of a speech, or meeting with a client, or having dinner with my wife, but sometimes when I'm just sitting on the couch watching TV, or driving in my car listening to the radio. Someone, my dad, will call. Just can't do it right then. I don't feel like talking to them. Click ignore. Who are you clicking to ignore? What is it costing you? My father is a superstar, an absolute superhero, really. He started out in the life insurance business in the 1970s and made only $8,000 in commissions his first year. Yet he persevered and went on to be one of the most successful people in the industry, accounting for tens of millions of life insurance premiums over his lifetime. A man like this could have easily sacrificed family time to achieve success. Not my dad. My dad was at every single one of my basketball games, cheering me on. My dad was home for dinner every night, even if he had to go back to work afterwards. Every year, we took at least one exciting adventure vacation. When I graduated from college, there was a job waiting for me at my dad's business. I've worked there ever since, and I love it. I get to see my dad every day. My mom and sister work there too. My dad's a baby boomer. Baby boomers expect hard work from the people in the business, and they expect you to be available at all hours of the day to talk about business. Thus, an evening or a weekend, the phone will ring, and Dad may be calling about business. But he's my dad, and sometimes I don't feel like talking about business. I'm a millennial. We really value our personal time and put borders around our work time. If there's something really important going on, I don't mind talking, a client or strategic planning, but sometimes Dad just wants to chat about a little idea. Invariably, he'll start chewing my ear off about the 1970s Pittsburgh Steelers. I've heard all those stories before, Dad. Click ignore. To the man who is always there for me. To the man whose business literally pays my phone bill. Click ignore. You know, it doesn't always apply to your phone. After I was married, my wife and I had several recurring arguments as we got used to living with each other. The one that stands out most involved the backyard and our dogs. The dogs love to run and play in the backyard, and of course, invariably, they do their business out there. My wife wanted me to clean it up at least once a week. I hate it. Why do I have to spend time every weekend diffusing doggy bones? Sunday afternoon would roll around, and I'd look out at the backyard. Click ignore. I'll do it next weekend. Click ignore. It's not that bad out there yet, and we're never out there. Click ignore. Jeremy, will you please clean up the backyard already? I have to say, I wish this was the only thing I click ignored. Dishes in the sink. Click ignore. Luckily, I've gotten a little better on that front, which is why, if you come by my house on a Sunday afternoon, you might encounter me doing my version of the dirty bird, a claw in one hand, a scoop in the other, doing the step to avoid that squishy little footprint. Click ignore. Clicking to ignore actually cost me a once-in-a-lifetime event. My best friend Dave, who I met in college, was the best man at my wedding. A few years afterwards, we'd fallen a little bit out of touch. He moved out to California. We talked on the phone occasionally. We chatted over text messages. One month, he called 3 times. And all 3 times, click ignore. When I finally got around to picking up his call, it turned out he was engaged. But I'd missed my opportunity to be his best man. He'd already asked someone else who didn't click ignore. I was a Toastmaster who didn't get to toast my best friend. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, what is click ignore costing you? What moments are you missing because it's so easy to quickly swish that little button across the phone and send them to voicemail? Who are you taking for granted? Are you driving a loved one crazy? Are you missing out on a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity? The next time you get a chance to click ignore, what will you do? Hey Dad, what's up? Mr. Contest Master.